Hi everybody, this is an example of a direct online motor starter program. I've done this in function block diagram program. You'll see down here in the outputs that the motor at the moment is in standby. So I've got the standby indicator light on, and over here I've got my e-stop is closed, my stop switch is closed, and my overload hasn't operated at this stage, and it's just waiting for my start input to occur. And so when I bring on my start switch, you see when I bring on my start switch, will go from standby to the motor over here running, and the also the run indicator light will be on as well. So let's just show that happening. Okay, so at this stage we've now lost the motor standby light, and now the motor itself is running and the run indicator light is on. Now the motor will just stay like this until such a time that we may hit the e-stop with some emergency taking place, or the operational stop switch may be activated, again stopping the motor, or the overload may trip due to the motor becoming overloaded. So let's see what happens if I trip the overload. So down here I'm just going to trip the overload. And you'll see now that the motor has stopped running. It's now has the overload trip lamp on, and the siren is on to say that we've had an overload take place, and the motor is actually off as well. You may want to have a little look at that the motor actually in standby. Small change to the logic would allow for that motor to be not in standby when it's actually gone off due to overload, until the overload has been reset again, and the motor then would be ready for another start. Anyway, it's like all programs, there's always a little bit of work in progress, and this may be a basic building block that you can play with and then expand on it with a bit more logic to achieve what you'd like to do with it. So hopefully this gives you a few ideas. I've done this on Zelio Soft 2. Instead of going to the ladder, I've actually programmed this in the function block diagram programming mode. So if I reset the overload, and then I can now the motor is in standby still. It looks better now that it's in standby, ready for a restart. And then when I hit the restart again, we've now got the motor running again with the motor running indicator light on again, and no problems down here with the alarm for the overload trip, and also for the motor in standby. Thank you for viewing, and I'll catch you later on in another video.